Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a no squat lower body workout. This can be beginner intermediate level. You're going to need 2 bands or 1 to 2 bands really, and a step of some kind. So you can use a bench, box, etc., whatever you have available, and or you could even use a standard step depending on your level and the height that you need. We're gonna be doing 5 exercises, 3 rounds of them. I'm gonna go ahead and explain them, and then we're just gonna jump right into the workout. So we're gonna be starting with a banded deadlift. So you're gonna take the heavier of your 2 bands, if you have 2 bands, and you're gonna be standing feet about hip width apart. Knees are gonna be slightly bent, and you're doing a hip hinge pattern. So you're sticking your hips back. Notice how my knees don't come forward, my hips are going back. So you're grabbing close to your feet here. The less tension that you have on the band, the easier it's gonna be. The more tension, the harder it's gonna be. So knees are slightly bent and you're standing up, squeezing your butt, not overly arching at the top, just standing up nice and tall, and then coming back down. So up and down, making sure the back is staying flat and not rounding at all. Then we're gonna be doing some flexion and abduction sliders. So you can go as far out as you feel comfortable, making sure your knee stays in line with your toe forward, and then as far out to the side. I mean, you can really go all the way down if you need. That heel is staying down on the ground though, or if you just can go out and maybe slight bend in the knee, that's perfectly fine as well. So depending on your level, that can be accommodated for you. You can also hold on to something for balance if you need. And then for the flexion and abduction sliders, you're just going forward and side, and that's 1 rep. You're doing all of them on one side and then all of them on the other side. Then we're gonna be doing a single leg RDL. With this, you're standing on 1 leg, knee is slightly bent that you're standing on, and then you're going into that T position here. Shoulders and hips are facing the ground, and then coming back up. You're gonna feel this on the side of your hip that you're standing on, and then potentially the back of the leg a little bit. If you need assistance for balance, you can hold on to something as well, or if you want to use a band to make it a little bit harder, you can do that too. So coming here and coming down, you might need to bend the elbows a little bit to keep that resistance, but that'll make it a little bit harder for you. And then we're going to be doing a modified side plank hip abduction. So shoulder is directly over top of your elbow, bottom knee is bent, going up into a side plank, shoulders, hips, and knees are all in one line. You're gonna rotate from the hip down, and then you're gonna come up and down here. You're gonna make sure you're not letting the hips drop at all or rock back. Your knee is gonna be slightly facing down and you're lifting your heel up there. If that's a little bit too challenging, you can come down here and go up and down. And then we're gonna be doing some step ups. So you can use a low step, or you can use a bench or higher step, depending on what you need and depending on what's comfortable for you. You can also make it harder by adding some band resistance. So when you do step up though, you're going to have 1 foot on, you're keeping your heel down on the ground, you're thinking about driving this heel into the ground, squeezing your butt as you come up, and then keeping that heel down as you control it on the way back down. You're not jumping up off your back leg, the front leg is doing the work. If you wanna make it harder, you can use the band. You're gonna have to be pretty close to your foot here, and it's gonna increase a fair amount as you step up if you do it this way. This probably works better if you have a lower step with that resistance, or if you have something higher, if you're using a bench or something like that, you can loop it around underneath and just make sure you're standing over top of where the band is anchored. And then you can come here, stepping up, and then coming back down. Again, driving into this heel is staying down on the bench, and your knee is staying in line with your second toe and not falling inward at all as you come up or as you go down. For the number of reps, again, we're doing 3 rounds of this. We're doing 8 banded deadlifts, 4 each of the flexion and abduction sliders, 6 each of the single leg RDL, 6 each of the modified side plank hip abduction, and 6 each of the step ups. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna be doing your banded deadlifts first. Nice job, guys, finishing that workout. If you did like this one, you might like the banded hip workout that I have here. If you do want some additional hip strengthening, go ahead and check out my hip prehab program that I have below.